Place 33, Secrets of Universal Truths Revealed by Sherilyn Bridget Avalon. Thank you, everybody. Hi, my name is Sherilyn Bridget Avalon, and I'm ready to read Chapter 9, Mysteries Revealed. Today, I look out the window and I see it's a beautiful day. Charity and I drive south to Sedona, Arizona. We meet a medium. When he was a little boy, he was struck by lightning and then he became psychic. His name is Jananda, and he is well known among psychics in Sedona. Jananda tells me and Charity that angels say, surrender. Just say, God, I'm ready. Meditate every day. Visualize and connect with the six-pointed star. Use tarot cards. Make choices. And people will show up. Miracles will happen. Have you been thinking about becoming a healer? You can create miracles. Your life and your potential is like Opportunity Junction. Don't be afraid of going with Source. You're currently in a process of transformation, like a butterfly releasing itself from its cocoon. I asked Jananda about my parents, my family, and about forgiveness. He says, visualize your mom and dad in meditation. Look them in the eyes, thank them, and set them free. I see the angels of miracles. Oh, you're supposed to be a messenger. You're here to do this work. You're surrounded with beings of light, and beings of less light have been assigned to throw you off. Surrender to positive, benevolent feelings. We are here, they say. Do good things for your kids. Ask your angels to help. And in fact, the angelic SWAT team can and will assist your daughter. Ask them to help for her highest good. Maybe they'll hit her with a cosmic 2x4. She's a little rebellious. Oh, your granddad is here. Did he wear a cap like a French painter? Did you buy shoes with him? Was it difficult finding the right size? He was helping you select the shoes. He was a cobbler's assistant. His father was the cobbler. He has excellent taste in shoes because he's Italian. I did find an adorable pair of shoes the day before, I thought. Oh, and your grandfather is following the family, trying to help your daughter. Tell her how important it is to eat well. Vitamin B6, B12, folic acid, and liquid trace minerals. There are fat molecules in her blood, maybe cholesterol. It will help her recover, Jananda says. Thank you, Jananda. You gave me confirmation, I exclaim. We head back to Las Vegas, and when we arrive back home, Sterling is sitting in the lobby, waiting for me. I need to be hypnotized again. The elevator of light is broken. I have questions I need answered, Sterling demands. Okay. Margot and Sally are at my mom's house, I replied. Let me call and tell her I'll pick them up tomorrow. As I was speaking to Mom on the phone, Mom told me Granddad was a cobbler's son. I already knew he was an artist. Wow, that was freaky. In my living room, Sterling knocks on the door. I remind him that I have a date with Kenton tonight. And he seems a little jealous. I told him Don't worry, Sterling. One day he'll understand who you are. Okay, let's get ready for hypnosis. Lie comfortably on the couch, take your shoes off, and relax. So I start counting down from 1 to 33. 1, 2, 3. I count methodically. I've crossed over, he says. I feel good looking at the white water in the place. I left the friction behind. I feel okay now. It feels better here on Earth. You've got a lot of friction around you, Sherilyn, Sterling says. Okay, what are you doing now? She asked him. Sterling replied, I'm just looking at the water. It's so white, and I like looking at it. I can see from whence I came. I also can see my best sphere coming. I see it coming. My mind's been full of spheres today. The sphere of integration, the sphere lacking time and space. When that sphere enters me, I'll be different. It's settled on me. It's been a meditative day. I missed you, Sherilyn. I like your mind. You understand in a fundamental way what's really going on. You're interested in the mystery of being, even though you don't articulate it in the same language, Sterling replied. Okay, there's a gold tape circling and orbiting me, Sterling says. A gold tape? What's that for? I asked. The tape has information on it, Sterling answered. Then St. Stephan steps in and he speaks. It's Mary is blue and Christ is red, it says. On Earth, Sterling's been thinking about color. I'm giving him permission to peer into the mythological yet truthful anecdotes throughout history. Imagination speaks to our psyche, so in terms of insight, it's valid. Major religions understand this. If it's well understood, that's why mythology is linked to imagination, like a pathway made by an animal. It's like following animal tracks. They are tracks to the truth. These tracks speak to the mystery of being. With human tracks, they link to the human psyche. That's why the groundbreaking Dr. Carl Jung tried putting things in psychological terms for Western man. To understand, it was difficult, yet understandable. Even the Tibetan Book of the Dead revealed the truth to a point. Eventually, time and space took over. So, if there can be no thought, there can be no thought about it. The practice of Christianity is often in conflict with and opposite to integration. This has been true for many years. It will change soon. There is a vital connected relationship between man, nature, and spirit. This speaks to the lack of understanding about how the universe is truly structured, a major flaw. St. Stephan replied, I see Kundalini Yoga on the tape. There's coiled information in the forms of two snakes. Two snakes are climbing a pole. They are female snakes, starting at the base under the tailbone. They're crawling up the spine to the top of the head, and at the crown of the head I see many gold things. What do they represent? I asked St. Stephan. It represents an absence of ego, St. Stephan replied. It's about the second being next to all of us. It's about time and space. Remove time and space, and we're all connected. Once in a while, there's a true metaphysical phenomenon. It's the reason why a man who doesn't know a child trapped in a house fire will completely forget his ego, himself, his natural instinct for survival, and blindly save a child or an adult It's not because he wants reward or recognition, but for a split second he breaks through and connects with his oneness. He believes he's saving himself, and he doesn't know the difference. Information is passing by on the gold tape. The tape references lunar and solar consciousness. The moon and the sun are metaphors for different types of light and energy. Man's perception of God through the world's religion is simply a personification of energy, attaching human traits to the diverse types of energy. God is energy. Our shallow attempt to define God through religion will never rise above time and space. Is there any way to rise above time and space? I asked. Yes, it is by understanding direction, St. Stephan answered. Time and space are the two most important concepts to understand. But if we're going to truly understand the mystery of being, he pauses. Do you mean north, south, east, and west? I asked. Correct, he replied. Also, you always come closer to understanding through numbers rather than through words. Direction and numbers are better mediums of communication and understanding. I interjected. I have a friend, his name is Mike Kerbin, who does numerology. He's always right on with the numbers. Yes, the gold tape is like reading a tablet, he continues. Wait. The tape has stopped. It's both lunar consciousness and solar consciousness. The lunar consciousness reincarnates itself, speaking to death and rebirth. The solar consciousness refers to immortality, that which never dies. The moon reflects the sun's light because the consciousnesses of the sun keep going and going. Because the consciousness of the sun keeps going and going. The reflection of the moon shuts on and off, referring to direction. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. This is important for people to understand because everything in terms of language is a personification, but there are two forms of consciousness, lunar and solar. Do you live in both worlds at the same time, two consciousnesses at once? I asked. You don't have to, although most of us do, he answered. The problem is, you know you have a conscience because you're aware through stepping back that you're thinking. That's disassociation. This proves you have a conscience. You can connect with your soul and draw solar light and soul energy into your cells, all the way to your atomic level, to activate more light within you and to accelerate your evolution, he says. Also, direction is important to understand in association with consciousness. Our consciousness has a directional mindscape. There is a north, a south, a east, and a west. It's unspoken, and a myriad of different thoughts coming from numerous directions in terms of integration. The idea is getting just one thought from one direction to stand still. As a result, you will transcend yourself. Integrating time and space, you become part and parcel of everything, which is how you achieve higher consciousness, St. Stephan revealed. How do you get that one thought to stand still? I asked. The thought will stand still when you discover the secrets to manipulating direction. St. Stephan discloses. Few people understand the direction of the mind, a reflection of the cosmos and cosmic consciousness. Try to think of one thing. Let's pretend you're thinking about a still pond in the beginning, because you don't know if you're north, south, east, or west. Southwest or northeast. You simply don't know, because you don't have a sense of it. This is why it's impossible to hold a thought still more than a few seconds. The first step in doing this leads you to the ability to transcend. Next is the first step in integration. It's about understanding direction and manipulating it mentally. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand, I say, scratching my head for a moment. What happens when people who lack the ability to still their thoughts and try to hold one thought still for a minute? He answers, they don't know how to transcend time and space, so they're almost immediately distracted with an interfering new thought. St. Stephan replied, the thoughts overlap one another. Master the ability to hold one thought still, and you will be on your way to understanding the mystery of being. It doesn't happen through many thoughts or through language, but through being. Be the thought, just the one thought. This will lead you down a path of spiritual integration. Where does God's love come from? What part of our minds? North, south, east, or west? I asked. Frank will tell you. Demons guard the various information in the cave. The things in the darkness, and those things dwell in the north. St. Stephan responded with laughter. Break the rule and go north. Find the new information that resides in the north. Bring it back and tell people. Demons guard the information locked and preserved in the chakras. However, the demons don't know what they're guarding. How do you get past the demons? I cross-examined. St. Stephan replied, maneuver past the demons by going north. New information is in the north, and you must go there, personally as well, to discover people who want to know. Sterling is already there in his mind, and he brings back the new information. Consider what I told you both, you and Sterling, about Jesus being red and Mary being blue. You're already oriented in this, Sherilyn. You'll know what it means. Do you see Angie yet? I pause. No. I need to get my directions straight, and then I think I'll see her, I replied. Okay, look to the northeast, St. Stephan responded. Angie is in the northeast. Frank is in the southwest, and you know he's grumbling now. He doesn't like the fact that she has new information for you, and people can plug into it. Actually accept the change. That's polarization. I'm curious. Why do you always say look to the left? I ask. When people look to the left, you can change your perspective. I don't know why, but it's inevitable. Energy ebbs and flows, depending on how we want to characterize it. Energy doesn't stop, it's cyclical. That's why it can be understood and then manipulated. Understanding structure relative to time and space is revealing. Structure exists between the interior relationships, and it comes out of the connection of all parts creating a whole. Structure isn't context alone, but the content within the context. That's what structure is about. Oh, that's why there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, I say. It feels like the gears are finally clicking into place. Yes, St. Stephan says. So, mythological archetypes are valid. This notion of imagination being false or unreal is ridiculous. How people believe this is strange. Where do they think imagination comes from? Imagination is a bending and a maneuvering of the truth, a dramatization, actually. Changing the subject for a minute, I asked, is Sterling there with you now? Sterling's higher self, St. Stephan, replied, Sterling is back with you on earth. Sterling is following me now, St. Stephan replied. Are you his lunar consciousness or his solar consciousness? I asked. I'm simply Sterling's higher self, St. Stephan replied. I'm the part of him that connects clearly into the collective consciousness, the universal consciousness, or you could call it the pool of information that is to be accessed by a few, even though all of the people have the capacity to do it. Okay, I was just checking, I expressed. Getting so deep, I don't know. Returning to the value of direction, St. Stephan replied. We must understand the limitations of language. There's no way man can understand the mystery of being, let's just call it being, while in a state trapped between time and space. This must be transcended. Then the truth is revealed. It's beyond thought, which is why it cannot be merely thought. St. Stephan emphasizes, I don't understand that yet. I say, shaking my head. Okay, St. Stephan states, this sounds ridiculous at first. Providing people who are open with an example of being still with one thought will hopefully help them understand the revelation. It comes from the wisdom at the center of the four directions, which makes the tape spin. Each has a magnetic pull, and so it elevates. How thick is the tape? I questioned. Oh, it's literally light years of depth. It's all the information, all the knowledge of humankind since the inception. Well, the tape has stopped now. I don't want to read any more, Sterling relayed, lying on the couch. Okay, the original 3D matrix of separation and limitation is created and maintained by thoughts of polarized world, then fleshed out by the collective emotions of separation and limitation, and subsequently activated by the collective intention for extreme individuality. A 5D matrix is created and maintained by thoughts of unity and oneness, emotions of unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, and unconditional forgiveness, and the intention of a planetary ascension. Remember, focus on the one thought. This will lead you down a path of spiritual integration. I feel like there is a very significant shift happening to the consciousness of the world, and it's an exciting time to be here, I replied. Thank you for all your information. I love you, spiritual father, St. Stephan, I say softly. He says tenderly, I love my daughter. And then we end the hypnosis session.